The man never expected that right after getting back to his hotel, he'd be forced into a bondage game.
Hey! ポルナレフ今からてめえの玉金噛み切ってやるぜマン
Polnareff had never run into such a sick freak of a stand user before, even though Silver Chariot clearly skewered his eye and tongue. Instead of getting pissed off, he actually let out a maniacal laugh with a look of pure enjoyment. The guy's name was Devil the Cursed. The reason he acted like this was because his stand represented the devil card, hinting at being plagued by curses and a deteriorating mental state. The more damage someone dealt to him, the more vicious the curse's retaliation from his stand would be. That is exactly why he purposely let Polnareff stab him, and then tumbled off a building dozens of meters high, looking totally clueless. Polnareff ran over to check, only to find the Devo had suddenly vanished into thin air. The next second, an invisible force slashed Polnareff's ankle open. Polnareff quickly made a call, telling Avdol all about being attacked by a stand, and agreed to meet up with him in 5 minutes, completely oblivious to the fact that a creepy doll holding a sharp blade was right under his bed. Avdol was scared out of his wits when he found out the attacker was Devo the Cursed. Devo was a hitman who drummed up business, using the title of a Native American shaman. The number of politicians and mafia bosses who died at his hands was completely off the charts. Up until now, anyone who had actually seen the true face of his stand had been killed without a single exception. At this point, Polnareff clearly hadn't realized how dangerous the creepy doll was. Just as he crawled under the bed to pick up his dropped keys, the rapid sound of footsteps suddenly echoed through the room. The very next second, Polnareff was instantly hogtied right under the bed. Then, a hacksaw quickly sawed off all 4 legs of the bed, pinning Polnareff underneath so he couldn't move a muscle. Right then, a knock on the door rang out, and a tiny figure leaped out of sight to hide. When the door opened, it turned out to be room service.
来るな殺されるぞどうしたのですこれは逃げろ殺されると言ってるだろうが
Unfortunately, the hotel staff didn't listen to his warnings, and was attacked by the doll hiding behind the door, getting his entire cheek sliced off. Before being dragged into the room, the doll ran back and forth like a maniac next to the bed, and suddenly popped up right in front of Polnareff's face out of nowhere. Only then did Polnareff realize that this doll was Devo's stand. He immediately summoned Silver Chariot to launch an attack, but Silver Chariot's eyes were just for show, and it couldn't fight outside of Polnareff's field of vision. Polnareff had to rely purely on his hearing to pinpoint the enemy's location and attack. However, there was absolutely no way he could hit such an agile doll like this.